Back in December, my friend Becca from the So Becca channel invited me to join her and other content creators to make a 10 by 50 inch block or panel, whatever you want to call it, as part of a traveling quilt. I'm the first one to do this, and I thought about it, and I love applique, and I want to showcase this as something that you can do as well. And I thought it'd be fun to do applique. So what am I going to do? Well, since I'm Australian, I wanted to pull my heritage into this, and so I'm going to do a variety of different Australian animals. I've already done one, this is the galah, and I'm going to show you how to do some of the other animals as well, what you need, and just how easy this can be. What items will you need for this applique project? Well, first of all, I needed a pattern, and I have this one. It's called Australian Critters by Critter Pattern Works. I picked this up at a yarn festival, of all places, many years ago. And this is just a quick view of the pattern. It's all drawn out. I think this turned out really, really cute. And so after that, you can either photocopy it and then cut it out as a template, or if you want, you can use freezer paper, which is how I'm going to do it today. I think this will be a lot of fun. This is really, really easy to use freezer paper. You'll also need some stabilizer, because I find putting this on the back of the pieces of the fabric you cut out makes it a whole lot easier to sew, and it doesn't bunch up as well. You'll need a couple of pair of scissors. You'll just need your regular scissors, and then your fabric cutting scissors as well for cutting the fabric, because you don't want to use these on paper, right? And then after that, just your normal fabric sewing machine and that sort of thing there. I've gone ahead and drawn all of my animals onto the freezer paper, and you do it on the non-shiny side, and it goes together pretty quickly. And the nice thing is you can put them all fairly close to each other, so that way you're not using as much of the paper as well. So these are the two panels that I've created, and I'll go ahead and cut these out with my non-fabric scissors. So cut out your piece of fabric, and then go ahead and iron the freezer paper onto the fabric. It provides a temporary adhesive, and then it's fairly easy to remove afterwards. So after a quick press, you'll see it sticks there quite nicely on there. You can put it on the back side or the front side. I tend to do it on the front side, so I'm not having to do any mirror images, and I have no problem with it coming off. You can see it'll peel off fairly easy once you're all done. Your next step now is to go ahead and grab some fusible interfacing, which you got to put on the back of it. And again, a nice quick press, it'll go in nice and easy. And what this does is it helps keep the fabric more stable, so it doesn't pucker up as you're doing your applique. So now you can see we've got the freezer paper on the front, fusible interfacing on the back. So now it's time to grab your fabric scissors and go ahead and cut this all out. Next step is to put the applique parts onto the background fabric. So lay it out where you want it, and then go ahead and take off the freezer paper, and as you can see, it peels right off. Super easy, super quick. So that'll be the bottom of the crocodile. And then this is the top. He's going to lay right on top. There goes his tail. And then we have his two sets of legs as well. Just make sure it looks nice where you've got it. And then we got to just do it layer by layer. We'll start off with the bottom, then the top part of the crocodile, and then finally we'll put the two sets of legs on top. Although you could, if you wanted, put the legs underneath the legs. So it's really up to you what you want to do. So I recommend using some straight pins, just a couple of places, just to hold it into place as you're going along. And then you need to set your stitch length and width. I like to set my length to about 1 millimeter. I find it's a nice length. And then the width depends. If it's a very detailed pattern, you may want to do it a little narrower. Otherwise, I do about half of the available width, and I find that works well for me. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch along the bottom. I'm going to leave the top, because the top part of the crocodile is going to cover that. We'll get to that a little later on. So I've done the bottom part, and I've also added some nice teeth. I'll go ahead and add the top and the legs, and we'll see how it all works out. So the saltwater crocodile is all done. I think it turned out really, really nice. And now we'll go ahead and make up all the other beautiful animals for this panel. So all my animals are done. I'm very excited. Now I'm going to put a thin sashing in between each of the layers and do a nice border around the edge, and this will be all done. And so it is now all done. I'm super excited to show you how it all turned out. I added the sashing and the borders, and it turned out absolutely beautifully. So this is what I've called my lesser known Australian animals blocks. This is the platypus. It's one of two mammals that lay eggs, the other one being the echidna. And then the galah, which is a fairly common Australian bird. These are all Australian native animals. The Tasmanian devil looks very different to the one you see on Warner Brothers, right? The sulphur-crested cockatoo. And finally, the wombat. And if you see it all together as one big panel, this thing's 50 by 10, so it's kind of hard to show it all on one screen. But here we go. So what's going to happen to this? It's going to go to my friend over at Sobeka. This is the first of 12 different blocks that are going to be done by 12 different content creators. And at the end of it all, we're going to have it quilted by Tiffany at Tiffany's Quilting Life, and then it's going to be given away. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for the next 12 months as the other 11 content creators showcase their beautiful quilt panels as well. I've had so much fun doing this. Oh, before I go, what happened to the crocodile that I showed you at the beginning? Well, I had a math error. I went to put this all together, and I was off by 16 inches. I was 16 inches over on my 10 by 50. So, unfortunately, my wonderful crocodile did not make it, but we're going to put him to good use at some point in a different project. I have a couple of ideas in mind. So, I hope you enjoyed seeing today's presentation. I love this thing. I'd love to hear what you thought about the tutorial part of it. Do you want something more detailed in the future in applique? How could I help you with applique? And let me know what you thought of the panel in general. I always love hearing comments from my viewers. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, definitely hit the like button, share with a friend, and we'll see you all next time. Happy sewing!